Mostly for Felicia Day. I am also a huge fan of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Thank you. And I heard fairly recently that there's going to be a sequel. Do you know anything about that?
There's always fairly recently I heard about a sequel. I'm sorry. It's just, it's literally a question I've heard for 2 years now. And I know, the only thing I could say is that I know that the intention has always been there to create, more things in that world. It's just, okay, Joss Whedon is doing this thing called the Avengers. I mean, how dare he do the biggest movie in existence, okay? So he really needs to get back on it. No, I think he's kind of busy with that thing. And I'm sure, I can only cross fingers that when he's finished with that he doesn't, make it so incredibly successful that he gets to do 5 or 6 more, which would be awesome. And he can fit in Dr. Horrible in between that kind of stuff. But I know that they have stories, they even have a title. I mean, so it was, it's very much in development in their heads. It's just, I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna say the same thing I've said for 2 years.
That's great. Thank you for answering the question.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to the middle.
Hi, I'm the team from yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, hi. I have 2 questions. One's serious, one's really silly. First is, what are your thoughts on the representation of girl gamers in the gaming community? Do you feel like we're being treated equally? And second, if you could if you could sleep with or have a winky relationship with any comic book character, who would it be?
It would be Dick Grayson, Nightwing session. Why is that guy so hot? He's hot. I don't know why he's hot, but there's something hot. Bruce is not hot, and then Dick is hot. Ooh. It's because he's a little humble. I'm gonna breeze by. It's because he's humble, and I'm just obsessed with the Batman Robin comic. I don't know what you're doing. Don't know what you're doing. Didn't bring my phone. That would be the comic book. And, I think there's a lot of, I'm gonna keep going, stop it. There's been a lot of stuff about girl gamers lately online, and kind of fights and some really condescending remarks from the more hardcore people, and I got involved in a fracas that I want to talk about on a certain, hardcore site. And I found that entering that discussion and trying to be self-righteous about it and preachy about it doesn't convince anybody that things need to change. My whole theory about girl gamers and girl geeks in general is that if you lead by example and just become the geek that you want to be as a woman and just exist, you're leading by example and you're breaking the stereotypes by doing it by example versus by preaching. And I think that that's a lot more effective because we're all just people. So that's what I would encourage people to do. And of course, if somebody does something really offensive, you call them out. I personally find that offensive. But I just think the whole theoretical talking about it is not as effective as just doing your own thing, and just that will open the path for other geeks to come. What did you tweet?
I don't know what you're talking about. Catwoman. I was trying to decide if it was going to be Catwoman or Silk Spectre, and I ended up choosing Catwoman. But I actually have a thing to say to guys who play video games. When a woman joins the game, don't be a dick. I recently saw an XKCD about this. This is gonna be one of those things, right? Where it's I have an existential dilemma. Oh, there's an XKCD about that. This thing happens to me and all my nerd friends. There's an XKCD about that. The idea that I don't care how old you are. Dudes have to stop acting like they're 12 years old when they game with women, and it's something that we in the gamer community sort of try to pretend doesn't exist, and dudes come up with oh, we're just joking and that sort of thing. And the thing is it sucks, and it really can be just combated by committing to not being a dick when you play a game.
I would have said that, but I don't want to preach.
Okay.
No, I like what you said. It would have just nullified my whole argument. So you did your thing, I did my thing. It kind of works together.
Okay, we'll talk about it in the car.
Don't punch it.
All right, so we solved that problem.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to answer? I don't really
Yeah,
have an
let's
answer. I don't have a
What
comic
about
book.
Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern?
Okay, he's
No,
hot.
how about the real Green Lantern? Sorry, reflexive nerd response. My bad. Apologize.
What they need to do is they need to go and get a Glee comic where Corey, what's his face? Is
Corey Monteith is like my celebrity crush.
I hate it when you do this. You always do. Oh, Corey.
I love him. But Ryan Reynolds is good too because he's Canadian and Corey's Canadian, so I love Canadians. So that's my answer. Why are you shaking your head?
I don't have time to explain to you why I'm shaking.
I'm offended.
I'm going to counter this out by, Ryan Reynolds would be mine. Let's go over here.
This question's for Will. The utility kilt you wore in
It was actually a sport kilt, is what I wore in. I wear a utility kilt in my private life, but Fawkes wears a sport kilt.
Just wanted to get your take on being a utilitarian, but
I actually love wearing a kilt, I wear my kilt as often as I can. I wear them to formal events. I usually wear them to cons. I just didn't bring it to this particular con because I'm only here for a day and a half, and they're heavy, and I didn't have room in my bag. My wife is super not down with me wearing the kilt. And is one of those things where she really just tolerates it. But she doesn't suffer in silence like a 1950s housewife. She's more of like a 1970s empowered wife, and just walks behind me pointing out that, oh, my husband is the one wearing the skirt. But I love them. I think they're great.
thanks.